we're back. So Snow White is getting abused. That happened on Eric. This one's been there for a while, but that one happened without my supervision.
That's true.
I think these guys aren't allowed out without me. This is Royce, by the way.
Wish I could argue with you.
We won't go further into that.
No, we won't. But at this point, Royce has got to be at least with one of us.
Yeah,
he's got to be there every time from now.
The youngest and the most, I don't know,
most responsible.
Yeah, you got to have me. Anyway, so today we had the idea to do a video on the performance of the KRX speed-wise, which, you know, that's everyone's biggest complaint.
Right.
That's the trash they talk on the KRX.
Right, we get
They're
it.
Slow.
I love the comments. It's not fast. We understand that.
We
get
know.
it. We understand when we use the word speed
We
with
live
this
it.
thing. Exactly. It's different than a turbo car. So
yeah. So we've done a few things here. So we got a draggy device, which is like a GPS controlled speed, 0 to 60, 0 to 40, quarter mile,
whatever you want to do with it.
So it's GPS. It's not based on your car's speedometer, because once you go up bigger in tires and things like that, or mess with any gearing,
and your
it's gonna throw you off.
Right.
Okay, so the draggy's GPS controlled, very accurate from what we can tell.
Yeah. And
so we did a draggy 0 to 60 with stock car, with just the only performance mod we had was.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
So we just got rudely interrupted. Anyway, just kidding. The only performance mod we had at that point when we did the first run was the GGB slip-on. So not a huge, I mean, it's not a full exhaust. I think it might bump 1 or 2 horsepower is what they say, which is cool.
You can feel it a little bit, but it's not super noticeable.
So yeah, we basically did it with stock car 0 to 60. Yeah. What was our?
But I think that was about 17.6. Hold on, let's just pull it up because we can pull up the draggy. Stop.
Try to say it without laughing. These things are big and they're heavy. I mean, we got a cage, we got seats, we got this big old toolbox in there. We got 35s, HCR's bigger, skid plate, you know, other stuff that adds weight, lights, bumpers, you know. So this thing's heavy.
She's a heavy gal.
Heavier than stock.
She's a healthy gal.
It would definitely be a little faster if we didn't have the 35.
First one was 17.65.
Okay. So we're gonna throw that video in here. Do not skip out of the video. Don't skip ahead. You got to watch the whole thing for the dramatic effect.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go.
So 17.65.
Yeah, so the next thing we did is put in some R-Core right coast off-road weights into this thing.
So clutch weights, coast off-road.
Yep.
They're a popular option.
Yes, there's a few different options, but this one's pretty popular. You go into any of those Facebook groups, you guys can all fight it out.
So
or
people,
whatever,
people talk about the weights a lot for specifically because the stock ones wear funny.
Right.
Like get some grooving or something. Right.
Right.
I've been following the
so
a little bit.
And then the idea is it also kind of helps take out that cowie initial lag, that cowie lag.
Okay.
And then, I mean, just throughout the whole range of it. But that's a big part of it most of the time.
Yeah, and obviously weights are a good way to either get more low end or more high end. There's not really one weight setup that gives you both.
Right.
But anyway, so he threw those in, and that gained us. What's the stat? I think it was 1 second.
Half a second. Went to 17.08.
Okay, so barely. I mean,
a little over half a second. So
okay. So still over 17 with just weights.
17. So
then round three.
Let's
throw this in there and then tell them what we did.
This week took it over to MadMoose actually. So quick shout out because we had MadMoose throwing some Zebro springs because Zebros came out with the 4-seat spring kit. So if you guys are interested, take a look at that.
That's a necessity in these KRXs, the 4-seaters especially. But especially when you go to long travel, I think they relocate those shock mounting points a little bit and it sags out pretty bad.
It sags out pretty quick. Yep.
This will get you going.
Yeah, bare minimum, I recommend doing the tender springs like I did there for a little while.
Those are from R-Core as well?
They are. Okay. Those ones were. There's different options for them. I think they're all probably pretty good. But this full spring kit is obviously your best option. So,
okay, so shout out to them,
yeah.
but we got sidetracked. So
yeah, we did.
We took it into MadMoose. They did the springs,
they
and then
did
they
that,
did.
and then they added Dynojet tuner with
Okay.
the PV3. Here's what we
So PV3 from Dynojet.
Yeah.
It's their own tune. So some
Yeah.
other companies will use this tuner hardware
Right.
with their own, you know, tune written into it.
Right. Yep.
This
Exactly.
one's
This
from
is the
Dynojet.
actual Dynojet tune, and it made a huge difference. So we
Yeah,
split.
so here's the thing about Kawasaki. I joined the forums, even though, you know, I've got my Polaris, that's me. They're cultish over there, man. Like with what they recommend, it's like everybody uses this.
Right.
And then if not, there's war.
It's
And so like there's a couple of tunes that everyone recommends.
Yeah.
You don't get anything else.
there's like
So-
3 that everybody kind of fights over. It's very opinionated. We'll say that.
Yeah, so drop your religion in the comments. And
please do.
fight it out.
Anyway,
Hold on,
we
hold on.
went with this. One of the reasons I went with this one is I can flash it back to stock if and when I want to.
Yep.
Say I don't like the tune or whatever it may be. So there's ECU tunes that a lot of guys do, and then there's this, and then there's other tuners that again obviously use this to put their tune on it. But this thing, let's throw in the video now.
Yeah, boom.
Done.
Video.
Anyway, huge difference as you guys can see from that. 12.99 seconds.
So we went from close to 18 seconds down to just under 13 seconds.
Yes.
So we're talking almost a 5-second spread.
Huge difference.
Big percentage jump.
Huge difference.
Just from the tune. I mean, again, the weight's got us almost like a half a second, between a half and 1 second.
Yeah.
And then the tune got us the rest of that.
So what we'll do is we'll throw on 2 screenshots real quick of the drag and the numbers, because it's got 0 to 10, 0 to 20, and so on, all the way up to 0 to 60. So you can see each one right there and see the difference.
So what we found, though, was really interesting.
It is, because everything is faster. Every interval is
Yep.
faster with this thing. But the biggest difference was 50 to 60. That difference between before the Dynojet and after the Dynojet is almost 3 seconds itself.
It took it almost 10 seconds that
Right.
first time to get from 50 to 60.
Right, so
like
50,
it just fell on its face.
50 to 60 before was just over 7 seconds.
Okay.
Just that interval from 50 to 60.
Got it.
And then afterwards, it is like 4.
Yeah.
I mean, so
that's
that
a big part of the game.
big difference right there.
I think it took off the initial lag, and then it
Yes.
made up a bunch of time at the end, and that's where you got all the gains. The
Yep.
mid-range was pretty steady. I think that's probably
steady.
where the clutch weights helped out,
Right. Yep.
if I had to guess.
Yeah, so the whole thing, I mean, like you said, took the initial lag, so that part was faster, all of it was faster. Again, you can see what we threw on there, and look for yourself and compare those numbers and stuff, but huge difference.
Yeah.
Huge
And again,
difference.
guys, we know. Go ahead and roast them in the comments. It's never gonna stack up to a Razor or Can-Am
Right.
in a drag race.
Right.
But you got to realize this is purpose built. We've got big old honking sticky 35s on there. You probably had 6 pounds of air in the tires when you were no sway bars going around those corners at 60.
Right.
We got, you know, a lot of weight added.
Yep.
So anyway, we wanted to show that there are other options for bigger power with, you know, superchargers and turbos, and you know, you can do more to them.
You can
But-
definitely do more to them, and from what we understand, those kits are good, but
But that was a plug-in, and I mean,
Right.
just top of my head, 25%.
yeah,
You know, that is huge.
it's big. It's big.
You know,
So
so
I do wish that it was a little bit better on the lower end difference rather than on the top end, but overall, I mean, it felt better. It
Yep.
felt like it was pulling better, so I'm happy with it so far. We'll see how it goes today in the rocks and stuff.
yeah. So if any of you guys have drag and you have a different tune, go ahead and flash it stock, flash it to your, you know, your performance tune, and drop your results in the comments or send us a screenshot, and we'll post those up and maybe even share what other people are doing.
Yeah, we'll
That'd
see
be
what
cool.
we gotta throw the draggy on yours and Ryan's.
Yeah, I've got some clutching that I want to get dialed in
Yeah.
really good, and without a dyno, draggy's a good way to do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. it would be really good. I'm interested in see what the 2-seat difference is.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have the Dynojet, but he does have the weights also, and it made a bigger difference in the 2-seat than it did in this thing.
Really?
Yeah.
The weights or the?
No, the weights.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the weights felt it had a bigger difference in the 2-seat.
Well, his started to get that wear that we talked about.
It did.
Started grooving or
That is true.
whatever.
That is true. I
they
replaced
do.
mine way earlier mileage-wise than what he did.
And I've heard, I don't know, because I don't own one, that they upgraded the weights in the 23s versus previous. Is that?
Oh, you mean stock weights?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
But I'm not positive, and I didn't run them long enough to really be able to
I didn't want to mess
compare.
with it. Yeah.
So
Cool. Well,
So, yeah.
we're going to get out and get some riding. We'll give you guys another video.
yeah,
But that's it for today. We're off Camber Industries. Go ahead and subscribe.
yeah. Please don't be rude.
Yep. See ya.